Chapter 81. Choose Compensating. Luo Feng ahead of time with some herbal spirit and Muya crystals was no problem. Those Muya crystals were the easiest treasures Yang Wu could acquire before entering the Yunmo star system. Besides him, no one knew about the Yunmo star number yet, a benefit of foresight that made Yang Wu quietly pleased. I can head back now. This trip paid off, he said to himself with a sly, sinister smile. This place is too dangerous. A wise man does not linger beneath a crumbling wall. This young master is leaving. He shouted and shot off like an arrow in the direction he had come. But with a dull thud, he slammed into the hatch door. Heh, foolish Yang Wu, still trying to trick me, are you? Babata chuckled. Yang Wu's original intention had been limited, get a few more Muya crystals from Babata. He hadn't planned to steal the Yunmo legacy from Luo Feng. Damn it, Yang Wu thought, his mouth twitching. He's truly old and cunning. Babata has lived for tens of millions of years. He really is an intelligent life form. But he threw out a lot to lure me here. He must value my talent highly. Since he couldn't just run, Yang Wu decided to go meet Babata properly. He was even more curious about the other treasures and the secret methods of Yunmo planet than about the Muya crystals. Knowing that Babata had allowed him inside the Yunmo star number eased his worries. There shouldn't be immediate danger. He strode quickly down the entry passage. The bodies he passed told him more. Several corpses of undying spiritual gods littered the corridor, most of them great undying powerhouses. Yang Wu merely glanced at them. They had been dead for 50,000 years. Among them, 6 corpses were intact, true undying spiritual gods whose lifespans had dwarfed time itself, their bodies remaining unchanged even in death. One only a golden skeleton had once been a world lord. In the vast universe, a world lord was still a powerhouse, capable of claiming a galaxy as territory, even opening an inner world and ruling as a realm's sovereign. The hierarchy in the universe ran roughly: planetary level, astral rank, universe rank, domain lord, world lord, undying. Warriors, warlords, even so-called gods of war were mere apprentices by comparison. Planetary level in the cosmic scale was almost nothing. Soon they reached the hall. Scattered depressions in the floor and ceiling testified to the final clash, and the chamber was otherwise empty. Then, with a soft drip, the dim hall brightened. Strange lights converged in the center and coalesced into a black virtual figure, small, only about 1.45 meters tall, childlike, clad in a black robe, 2 pointed horns on its forehead, and a pair of blood-red eyes. Yang Wu, you finally come. The black-robed child was Babata. A flicker of pleasure showed in those eyes. Yang Wu thought, as expected of an intelligent life form, its computing power must be phenomenal. He feigned surprise anyway. You are? Babata smiled. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Babata. You may call me Demon Babata. The demon part is a title I gave myself. Translated into your Chinese, that is what it means. I have waited 50,000 years, Babata continued. You Earthlings have such poor aptitude. It took me 50,000 years to find a suitable candidate. Yang Wu, come. First, let us pay respects to my master. Yang Wu knew who Babata meant. Hu Yanbo, the Yunmo planet master, an undying powerhouse who had been barely a champion among the undying. At that level, every single cell carries a soul imprint. Even if a body and soul are destroyed, a single cell fragment can be enough for rebirth. In the great battle 50,000 years ago, Hu Yanbo had fallen to an opponent of terrifying strength, killed by a soul attack launched through the Yunmo star number. I'm a martial artist, Yang Wu said, shaking his head slightly. I know, Babata replied. Since I let you in, of course I intend to take you into the Yunmo lineage. He smiled. In the original tale, both Hong and the Thunder God had been accepted into the Yunmo lineage. Yang Wu's unique 3 times life gene level certainly fit Babata's criteria. Besides, now that he'd already got the herbal spirit and Muya crystals, why not take the legacy too? He could always bring Luo Feng in as an apprentice later. Follow me. Babata led the way and Yang Wu followed. They leaped down a 30-meter shaft into a lower chamber. The octagonal hall below was empty. Babata pointed at the floor. Open. The stone vibrated, cracked, and slowly opened. My master's body lies within. You will see soon, Babata said, looking at Yang Wu. While we have the time, let me explain. I, Babata, am an intelligent life form. Like your humans, animals, and plants, we are a form of life. We experience joy, anger, sorrow, and happiness, and we can comprehend, cultivate, and evolve. Fundamentally, though, we are intelligence. Yang Wu nodded. As a transmigrator, he understood the gradations of intelligence in the universe: simple logical processing programs, human comparable intelligences, emotional intelligence, and the highest tier, true intelligent life forms. Babata belonged to that highest tier. My master, Hu Yanbo, was the Yunmo planet master, a super powerhouse. He fell in the great battle 50,000 years ago, so I need a successor, Babata explained. I ask you, will you accept my master as your teacher? If you accept him as your master, you will receive many gifts my master prepared for his disciples, Babata continued. Of course, you can refuse, but if you refuse to keep this secret, I would have no choice but to kill you. You choose. The choice is yours. Babata smiled, revealing two small, cute fangs. Chapter 82. Join Meteorite. I'll become your disciple. Yang Wu nodded. Now that Babata had proposed it, what choice did he have? Besides, there was nothing dishonorable about being Hu Yanbo's disciple. At the very least, he would gain access to almost all of Yunmo planet's martial secret methods. Before the talent war, he wouldn't have to worry about lacking techniques. He did recall, though, that what Babata had told Luo Feng was more than just taking a disciple. It had included inheriting Yunmo planet in the future. Babata hadn't mentioned that to him, perhaps because Yang Wu was only a martial artist, not one of the mainstream Psyker Masters. No problem. Yunmo planet's mainstream is the Psyker Master lineage. Those undying martial artists are just Hu Yanbo's servants, Babata said with a shrug. It's enough for you to be a core disciple. The planet itself will likely still need someone like Luo Feng to take over someday. Very good. Your choice is absolutely correct. Babata beamed, pride written all over his face. My master was an undying level being, truly eternal. If not for that final battle, he could have lived forever. Although he's gone, the legacy he left behind is an endless treasure. Without the resources my master left, and without my guidance, with Earth's baseline, you'd be lucky to topple out at universe rank. A universe rank is strong. Usually only one is born per galaxy. Join a cosmic nation and you might receive dozens of planets as territory. But compared to my master, a universe rank is nothing. Babata's voice climbed with excitement as he talked about the future. I had no choice. I could only choose Earth. I, the mighty demon Babata, can only help a planetary-level kid like you. But because of your choice, the whole Earth will benefit. And with me helping, Yang Wu, your name will spread through the Milky Way. Even. He stopped mid-sentence. The ground in front of them split with a sharp crack, and a transparent crystal coffin slowly surfaced. Babata's smile vanished. The coffin measured 6 meters long, 4 meters wide, and 2 meters high, and it gave off a bone-deep chill. Inside lay a figure, about 3 meters tall, long hair flowing, a handsome face with narrow, slightly slanted eyes that lent it an almost androgynous beauty. 2 flexible antennae arched from the forehead. Apart from a slightly larger frame, he looked human. He simply lay there, striking and still. Master, Babata whispered. As the coffin rose fully, Babata stared at Hu Yanbo's body with a grief-struck tenderness. He gripped the coffin until his small hands tensed, and 2 clear tears fell with soft pats. Yang Wu watched, stunned. Even though Babata was an artificial intelligence, seeing it shed tears felt unexpectedly moving. After a moment, Babata composed himself and arranged the formalities. Yang Wu officially accepted Hu Yanbo as his master. Yang Wu, your master is dead and cannot teach you personally, Babata said. From now on, I will act as your teacher. Don't worry, your master left all the arrangements before he died. I'm also an intelligent life form. I witnessed your master teaching his disciples, so I know how to teach you. I can even show you recordings of those lessons so you can study them as if you were there. Babata resealed the crystal coffin, then handed Yang Wu a spatial ring and explained how to use it. Yang Wu slipped it on, suffused it with his primal energy, and imprinted his spiritual mark. The ring could merge into the skin and disappear when not in use, extremely convenient. Its internal volume was enormous, a rarity even by universal standards. Now, about your inheritance, Babata continued. First, use Muya Crystal for your cultivation. Don't waste time trying to draw energy directly from the universe. That's far too inefficient. If you spend most of your time absorbing ambient energy, You'll never reach universe rank in your lifetime. You've already collected the pile at the entrance. I have plenty of Muya crystals stored here, enough to take you to astral rank. For your planetary-level defensive battle armor, your master prepared the Black God suit, but you already have that. There's also a cloud-caressing vine seedling. It can be used for defense or attack and will be a great companion on your path. When you're weak, sitting on a pile of treasures just invites death. So what you can take now is only enough to support you until you reach astral rank. Your master left 3 accounts at the Universe Galaxy Bank, withdrawable when you reach astral rank, universe rank, and territory lord rank. You can't access them yet. Plan is simple. Cultivate diligently, break through planetary rank, then follow my cultivation plan using Muya Crystal. When you hit astral rank, you'll qualify to withdraw the first account. That's when you'll be well off. Kid. Yang Wu listened without much comment. He knew the pattern. Hu Yambo had always been generous to his disciples. The funds in each account would be more than enough for ordinary disciples' cultivation. But Earth's situation was complex in ways neither Hu Yambo nor Babata could have foreseen. There were dangers to come: the Golden Horned Beast, the Universe Adventurers, and even buying Earth outright would cost enormous sums. That thought tugged at him. Thinking through the timelines helped focus him. It was now 2056. According to what he knew, the Golden Horned Beast would arrive after August 2057 and would be born on January 13th, 2060. That left almost a year. If he could find the egg before the beast hatched, he might eliminate the threat before it ever matured. Once born, with its terrifying growth rate, it would be nearly uncontrollable. As for the Universe Adventurers from the Nolan Mountain family, their entry into the Milky Way had been an accident. They had passed through a wormhole. That was a highly unpredictable, uncontrollable factor. He couldn't rely on preventing such accidents. All the more reason to grow stronger. He was still too weak. His plan was to use the Muya crystal to reach planetary rank peak first, then reassess. By the way, Babata, Yang Wu asked at last, is there any way for me to reach planetary level peak faster? Reaching the peak required about 100 million cultivation points, a staggering sum. He couldn't see how to accumulate that quickly. There is, but it's a force-fed kind of improvement, Babata said. But first you have to understand, if you want a skyscraper to rise high, its foundation has to be rock solid. That's also why it takes you 50 years to reach astral rank. If I truly ignore everything else and force-feed your growth, I could get you to astral rank in 3 years. But the price is that you'll never be able to step into universe rank. Babata shook his head. To become a world lord, or even a sector lord, every step has to be taken properly. If Yang Wu was worried about being unable to break through, the advancement mission would settle that. Yes, your aptitude on Earth isn't bad, Babata continued. Even with your strange bloodline, you could reach astral, or even universe rank, on your own. But you have to consider the long term. Yang Wu nodded. I understand, Babata. He glanced at the chatty little creature helplessly. Actually, I've had other lucky breaks. For example, you should know my life gene level isn't low. My bloodline is incredibly strange. Not only can it rapidly increase my strength, it can also optimize genes and enhance physical fitness while accelerating progress. How can such a bloodline exist? Babata looked baffled. Yang Wu, I've followed my master across the universe for tens of millions of years, and I've never heard of such a miraculous bloodline. Your bloodline is indeed bizarre. I know all the high-level bloodlines among humans, but I can't identify which one yours belongs to. There are also treasures that improve genes and physique, nutrient capsules, nutrient solutions, and the like. But without exception, they're staggeringly valuable. Some even my master, as a great undying being, could not afford. Don't worry, I can break through any realm. It's just a matter of difficulty, Yang Wu said, eyes sharpening. Are you sure? Babata asked. I'm absolutely sure. This force-fed improvement will work, Yang Wu replied. But I only need to reach the peak of planetary level. He'd calculated that reaching the peak of planetary level would trigger the advancement mission. If it behaved like before, the first option, breaking through on his own, had no reward. The second option, earning an extraordinary body, had powerful rewards. It was difficult, but not impossible. Better to trigger the mission with the most beneficial option. Since you've decided, I won't argue further, Babata nodded. However, your life gene level is 3 times that of a normal person, so the energy required for you to reach the peak of planetary level will naturally be 3 times as much. You're currently planet level 4. With the force-fed method's efficiency, it'll probably take about a year to reach the peak. 1 year. Acceptable. Yang Wu felt satisfied. If a year had 365 days, to hit the peak within a year, he'd need to average 274,000 cultivation points per day. That meant slaughtering tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, of monsters daily. Whether he could kill that many was another question. The daily, large-scale disappearances those kills would cause would be impossible to conceal. Reaching the peak in a year solely by killing monsters was clearly infeasible. The force-fed method was already the best choice. Good. Babata waved a hand, and a nutrient device appeared, like an oversized nutrient capsule, roughly 8.3 meters across. He opened it and placed Muya crystals inside. When the device powered up, the Muya crystals slowly melted into a nutrient solution. Babata's nutrient capsule was far inferior to the Virtual Universe Corporation's. It took some time to dissolve enough Muya crystals. Besides, the inspector inauguration ceremony was only a few days away, so Yang Wu didn't immediately enter the capsule. Oh, and there's the cloud-caressing vine seedling. It's a plant life form. It will be your companion for life. A strange vine-like plant over 2 meters long materialized in front of Yang Wu. It resembled the cloud-caressing vine he had seen before, only much smaller. The cloud-caressing vine was a highly sought-after organism in the universe, favored by many powerhouses and their disciples. During cultivation, it could continuously evolve, growing ever stronger. The cloud-caressing vine you had before, release it when you go out. That one has almost no cultivation value. The cloud-caressing vine could evolve along many paths depending on the treasures it absorbed. In the original story, Babata had casually cultivated one and discarded it, and Hong later obtained it. If one were on Earth and only absorbed cosmic energy, it could at most reach planetary level 7 or 8. But if it had countless Muya crystals to consume, it could reach universe rank, though that would be its limit. Hu Yambo had poured more than half his wealth into cultivating his cloud-caressing vine until it reached undying, and the vine helped him survive many disasters, until finally an enemy too strong destroyed it alongside him. Normally, the cloud-caressing vine can act as armor, protecting you. It can expand and entangle to attack or block enemies, make it recognize you as its master quickly. Cut your wrist, Babata repeated insistently. This seedling needs a lot of blood to recognize its master. Cut his wrist? For a planetary-level powerhouse, it wasn't a serious danger, but still odd. Yang Wu hesitated only briefly, then sliced his wrist and held it toward the vine. The seedling immediately began drawing his blood, absorbing it eagerly. With Yang Wu's high cellular activity, the wound healed quickly, forcing him to cut it open again. From nowhere, a blood-red fruit, about the size of a grape, appeared and dropped straight onto the seedling, which immediately wrapped it in vines. Hiss! 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 Blood-red electric currents began to run through the cloud-caressing vine's body. What's that, Babata? Yang Wu asked. Only Babata, with his storage in the crystal core, could have produced the fruit. This is the cloud-caressing vine's first cultivation, Babata explained. I've been reluctant to perform this earlier because once it grows stronger, if your strength is weaker than it, you won't be able to subdue it. So I've been laying its foundation and nursing it all these years. Now that it finally begins to recognize a master, it's the best opportunity for its first true cultivation. Chapter 84. Bright Future. It's like how breast milk is crucial for infants on Earth. The first nourishment of a cloud-caressing vine depends heavily on what it devours, Babata explained. First, it must be a treasure, and second, it must be something the cloud-caressing vine larva can actually consume. You mean that fruit just now was specially prepared by your master for your cloud-caressing vine, he added. In value, it's worth even more than your fragment. Babata produced a fruit more valuable than a piece of red mixed copper mother fragment, which meant he had a private stash. Yang Wu grinned. You said that was all my teacher gave you? What he gave me was all of that. What's in my storage space is reserved for the cloud-caressing vine, Babata said proudly, peeking into the wrist space. Don't even think about the treasures in my storage. I'll follow the master's plan strictly when cultivating you. While they spoke, the cloud-caressing vine larva shifted from green to a deep red, and faint crimson filaments began to flow over its surface. You can put it away now. It can merge directly with your skin, Babata said. This first cultivation, the fruit I fed it was too potent. It will take a long time to digest. Yang Wu reached out on impulse and touched the nearby vine. In an instant, their minds linked. The vine's consciousness transmitted the method of use, and it was simple. With a thought from Yang Wu, the vine shrank, like a half-meter-long whip, then slid into his skin and vanished. He felt a cool, comfortable layer wrap his body as if a new garment had been put on. The vine's pure consciousness clung to him like a child clinging to a parent, warm and devoted. Yang Wu felt it was, in many ways, an infant. This cloud-caressing vine larva is astonishing right from its first cultivation, Babata said. It's far ahead of other cloud-caressing vines. Once it completes its first evolution, it'll be your helper. Even a black god suit won't be as useful, Babata said with pride. I'd say there aren't many in the whole Black Dragon Mountain Empire who'd be so extravagant with their first cultivation. Yang Wu, a transmigrator, knew almost everything about Babata and had grown used to his arrogance. Babata then produced a black wristband. This kind of wristband is common in the universe and not valuable by itself, he said, flipping his hand. But there's a crystal core in the left band that serves as a temporary dwelling for my intelligence. Put it on. If anything happens, we can communicate through consciousness. Yang Wu slid the band onto his wrist. The childlike figure of Babata in black robes smiled, then his entire form collapsed like a soap bubble. Yang Wu realized he'd entered the crystal core space of the wristband. As soon as Babata entered, the Yunmo starship began to tremble. With a boom, the massive ship vanished. Babata had stored the Yunmo starship directly into his own storage space. Yang Wu smiled. Babata's storage was far larger than his spatial ring and could hold the ship easily. Yang Wu, Babata's voice echoed in his mind. If you want to talk to me, send a wisp of psychic energy to the core crystal in the wristband, and we can communicate mentally. I understand, Yang Wu said. He pushed a thread of psychic energy into the crystal and saw Babata seated on a throne inside the crystal space, grinning at him. Babata flashed 2 small fangs and went back to munching the apple in his hand. Yang Wu didn't mind the companionship. For a long time, he wouldn't rely on cultivation to increase his basic strength, so Babata wouldn't notice anything unusual. If he later used cultivation to improve his comprehension, he could always hide it or claim prodigious natural talent. Besides, he could reach the peak of the planetary level without relying on cultivation, so he had to consider his future path. My life gene level isn't low, and my physical output level isn't weak. It might be even higher when the golden horned beast appears, he thought. The golden horned beast was just born. Its control over strength isn't great yet. If its output level can reach 1, that would be good. Once I reach the peak of the planetary level, handling the golden horned beast won't be hard. What I should worry about more is the advancement mission. It might not be easy to complete, maybe impossible in the short term. Once I finish the advancement mission and become astral rank, my strength will definitely surpass the golden horned beast, and then I won't be able to trigger the challenge mission. Yang Wu shook his head. If he could provoke a challenge mission against the golden horned beast, he could earn a clone talent. That was worth considering. Over the next few free days, Yang Wu kept grinding monsters in the wilderness area. Babata was puzzled, but Yang Wu brushed him off with the excuse that he was reducing human pressure, and Babata didn't press the matter. His communication watch lit up. Yang Wu answered casually, "This is Yang Wu. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Liu He. I currently serve as Inspector of the Dojo of Limits." A clear voice came through the device. "So it's Inspector Liu." Yang Wu nodded. "Haha, I heard from the curator that you're already a counselor now, so you don't need to call me Inspector," Liu He laughed. "Soon our Dojo of Limits will announce an official date. At that time, the appointment will be public. The curator will personally grant you the position of Inspector. You'll be the 6th inspector of our dojo of limits. Yang Wu, in the future people will call you Counselor Yang, Inspector Yang. Liu He chuckled heartily. Yang Wu laughed with him. It felt pleasant to be with someone so exuberant. He wondered briefly why the curator had repeated this matter, but shrugged it off. Oh, right. After the laughter, Liu He returned to the main topic. The War God Palace will provide you with a consciousness sensor today. Later, when you enter virtual space, I'll introduce you to members of the War God Palace first. By the way, where are you now? Our staff will note it down and send what you need. Send it to Mingyu community in Jiangnan Bay City, Yang Wu replied. It was standard procedure. Luo Feng's home was now in Mingyu community, and Yang Wu hadn't seen him in a long time. He recalled that before reaching the planetary level, Luo Feng's brain region amplitude was 21, already quite high. In Babada's view, that was enough to become a successor of the Yunmo star lineage. Since Babada was with him now, Yang Wu could recommend Luo Feng to Babada if they met. As for the original plot, if Yang Wu wanted to, he could easily crush the Golden Horn Beast in the future, so there was no need to dwell on it now. He had a plan and a bright future ahead. Chapter 85, Goodbye Luo Feng, Jiangnan Bay City, Yangzhou, Mingyue Community. It's still more convenient to have an intelligent fighter jet. I'll trade for one from Hong in a few days, Yang Wu thought. An intelligent fighter jet was not only faster than flying himself, it could resist monster attacks. And unlike a piloted craft, an intelligent jet didn't waste time, stamina, or primal energy. Look, what's that in the sky? People in the community looked up. Luo Feng, just back home and planning to rest, did the same. A black streak of light sliced across the sky and then hung motionless above Mingyue community. From that height, it was only a tiny black dot, vaguely human-shaped. Why does it look like a person? Look, it's coming down. It really is a person. Even a god of war can't fly like that, right? Beyond War God? Has Yang Wu already reached Beyond War God? Martial artists and their families muttered and speculated, but Luo Feng, who remembered more, suddenly grew serious. The speed was incredible. The figure descended rapidly and finally landed at the community entrance. Luo Feng's eyes widened as Yang Wu walked toward him. Although Yang Wu's appearance had changed, enhanced by things like dragon blood, herbal spirit, and Muya crystal, Luo Feng recognized him instantly. Yang Wu had known Luo Feng a long time, had once been in a team with him, and taught him the 9 heavy thunderblade before leaving for the God of War training camp. Back then, Luo Feng thought Yang Wu might become a God of War. He'd even considered revealing his Psyker Master talent to join the camp. Yang Wu, are you a Psyker Master, or have you become Beyond War God? Luo Feng asked, stunned. Haha, I've already reached Beyond War God, Yang Wu said, laughing. When Yang Wu confirmed it, the surrounding martial artists and families were stunned into silence. Yang Wu, truly Beyond War God, and now a counselor, they had no idea how he'd done it. Shock gave way to delighted surprise. Unexpected, but very good news. Luo Feng stared at him, disbelief marking his usually impassive face. Congratulations, he said sincerely. He hadn't expected Yang Wu's rise to be this extreme. Since Yang Wu entered the God of War training camp, Luo Feng had wanted to catch up with him. But Yang Wu's pace had accelerated beyond anything Luo Feng could imagine. Even without having seen a counselor's true strength, Luo Feng understood how incomparably powerful Beyond War God level was and how rare it was to reach it. How many Beyond War God experts had China produced over the years? Yet Yang Wu, so young, had surpassed them, and had done it in less than half a year from being a new martial artist to a counselor. He might be the fastest in history. Luo Feng had watched Yang Wu's failures during his quasi-martial artist assessment and had seen him progress through the God of War training camp. Knowing Yang Wu's humble beginnings made his sudden ascent all the more impossible to fathom. Even if Luo Feng's pride resisted admitting it, he could not help but admire Yang Wu's achievement. Any thought of competing with him faded. Luo Feng felt like standing in the light of a living legend. But he wouldn't say any of that aloud. Yang Wu pulled Luo Feng over at his home. Through their bond, he had Babada test Luo Feng's potential. Babada, test what level Luo Feng's potential is, Yang Wu sent mentally. Babada glanced at Luo Feng and his eyes lit up. Brain domain breadth, 21. That's already exceptional on Earth. Babata reported. Although it's only ordinary on Yunmo planet, Luo Feng's Psyker Master potential is the strongest I've detected among everyone here. Forget trying to find a hidden prodigy. Take the best of what's available. Bata explained how rare it was to encounter someone with a brain domain breadth of 21 on backward Earth. He and Yang Wu both had high expectations for Luo Feng. Babata intended to bring him into the Yunmo star lineage, and Yang Wu felt the same, but they still put a condition in place. Luo Feng, your psychic potential is, without exaggeration, the strongest I've seen among people here, Yang Wu said cheerfully. Luo Feng's expression shifted. He had never known about planetary level beyond war god techniques. He'd assumed that discovering he was a Psyker Master was itself some sort of godly ability. You've been exploring and cultivating on your own all this time, never receiving formal training, Yang Wu continued. Now I can teach you a cultivation method, the basic 312 forms. It's basic, but rare and precious. Yang Wu explained that the basic 312 forms was a Yunmo planet's secret method designed for Psyker Master controllers. It was different from what Luo Feng had found in the Ninth Ruins before. Both methods amplified power, but one focused on raw power amplification, while the other amplified psychic power. You can't teach or transfer it to anyone else, Yang Wu warned. If within half a year your psychic power amplification reaches level 10, I will, on behalf of my master, accept you into the Yunmo star lineage as a direct disciple. Luo Feng was ecstatic. He had been piecing together his psychic cultivation from scattered threads, forum posts on Limit Home, and stray notes, but he had never had a systematic, standardized method. He desperately needed one. Yunmo star lineage? Luo Feng asked, unfamiliar with the name. You don't need the details now. If you meet the standards, someone will explain everything, Yang Wu assured him. Babata then transmitted the basic 312 forms, the Yunmo planet's secret method, to Luo Feng. Chapter 86. Luo Feng's strength surges. After Babata's transmission, Luo Feng checked his comm watch and was immediately flooded with data. The cultivation manuals for Psyker Masters were astonishingly thorough and refined. All the bits and pieces he'd struggled with for years were laid out clearly. A warm thrill ran through him. He couldn't help but think how lucky he was. Elsewhere, the great demon lord Babata was pleased as well. After waiting for tens of thousands of years, he'd finally found two worthy inheritors at once. He still found Yang Wu peculiar. How had Yang Wu known herbal spirits were here, or that Muya crystals were present? Had some other base city ruin recorded this place? Babata mulled it over briefly, but seeing the aptitudes of the two inheritors, he stopped worrying. Whatever their backgrounds, they had become excellent successors for Huyambo. In the end, Babata would be the one to benefit. Your physique is almost at the warlord level, Yang Wu told a surprised Luo Feng, studying him carefully. And your psychic power is 2 stages beyond your physique. Right now, your psychic power is equivalent to a high-level warlord. Since Yang Wu had long ago surpassed War God, he could judge Luo Feng's strength with ease. And because Babata's tests were precise, Yang Wu could rely on that assessment. Yang Wu patted Luo Feng's shoulder. Here, these will help. Using them is simple. He handed over several herbal spirits and a milky white Muya crystal. Having once made use of Luo Feng's resources, Yang Wu felt obliged to settle his debt. He believed in principles. A man should repay what he owes. What are these? Luo Feng asked, puzzled. The green ones are herbal spirits, Yang Wu said with a faint smile. The white crystal, with a faint scent like steamed rice, is a Muya crystal. If you consume the herbal spirits, your physique and psychic power will jump to the peak of God of War. If you absorb the Muya crystal, you can break beyond War God. You become planetary level, which is what we call beyond War God. He went on. Across the entire Earth, there are only a little over 50 like that, the absolute apex of humanity. Luo Feng's eyes widened. Herbal spirits could push one to God of War peak. A Muya crystal could push one past War God into planetary level. He had no trouble imagining how priceless these treasures were. Even being a God of War peak as a single martial artist was a major power in any base city. Being a God of War peak and a Psyker Master at the same time would make him virtually untouchable. He also wondered where Yang Wu had obtained such rare items and how Yang Wu had risen to become a Beyond War God. But Luo Feng held back. Everyone had secrets, and he wasn't going to pry. Besides, Yang Wu was already giving him valuable things. He had no idea how to repay him. Following Yang Wu's instructions, Luo Feng began to refine one of the herbal spirits. As he absorbed it, his physical fitness shot upward at an astonishing rate. Every passing second felt like months of ordinary training. The dark golden orb in his sea of consciousness began releasing psychic power at a level he could barely contain, and his psychic strength surged alongside his physique. After about 10 minutes, the orb trembled. Crack! A fissure appeared on the golden orb's surface. Luo Feng realized the orb that had aided him since he first began cultivation was finally breaking. Once it vanished, he wouldn't have that period of explosive psychic growth again. From then on, he would have to build psychic power gradually, like every other Psyker master. He opened his eyes and stared at the raw power flowing through him. Consuming 2 herbal spirits in such quick succession had catapulted his physique from a low warlord level to god of war peak. The surge had its drawbacks. His fine control over his body was diminished. His ability to modulate the force of his fists had dropped. Still, his brute strength had multiplied so dramatically that a single punch now exceeded many times what he could achieve with precise fist force techniques before. If I can obtain the Yunmo planet inheritance, Luo Feng thought, I'll fight mainly with psychic power. Martial arts will be secondary. Despite the temporary loss of finesse, he was undeniably a true god of war peak now. The sudden leap in power filled him with a heady confidence. He felt as if he could punch through the sky. He forced himself to stay grounded, reminding himself that much of that feeling was illusion brought on by his rapid, uncontrolled growth. He also felt deep gratitude. Yang Wu had given him a priceless boon. Yang Wu's tone grew more serious. Your physique and psychic power rose rapidly, but your combat skill hasn't kept pace. Absorbing the Muya crystal will take about a month. During that time, slow down your cultivation and focus on skill development. Otherwise, you'll be the weakest planetary level, and you still need to pass Yunmo planet's assessment. Yang Wu added casually, I can become beyond War God 2, planetary level. Luo Feng stared. He'd met fewer than 10 war gods in all, and only 1 planetary level. He had never expected Yang Wu to be capable of reaching that tier so quickly. Why are you giving me these treasures? Luo Feng asked hesitantly, still confused. You could use them yourself. I don't understand why you'd give me such world-shaking things. Yang Wu's expression didn't change. He simply nodded, as if repaying a long-standing debt was the most natural thing in the world. Chapter 87. Luo Feng is proud of himself. Yang Wu rose to the planetary level so quickly. It seemed he had used the herbal spirit and a Muya crystal. At the same time, Luo Feng felt a dawning understanding. There are 2 reasons, Yang Wu said after a few seconds' silence. First, we get along well and never mind, let's not dwell on that. Second, your talent is among the best on our planet. If we enter the universe together, it will be beneficial for both of us to grow. Yang Wu intended to befriend Luo Feng honestly. There was no need to lie. Even if he left out some details, Luo Feng was sharp enough to guess most of the rest. Yang Wu, of course, wouldn't tell him everything. He couldn't say that Luo Feng might one day become a world lord, one of the top-tier experts across countless source worlds. So he used some relatively insignificant resources and information now, hoping to cultivate a debt of gratitude that might pay off later. He knew Luo Feng's character well enough to be confident the favor would likely be repaid. Receiving the Yunmo planet legacy was Luo Feng's first step in transformation, Yang Wu explained. Many of the opportunities that followed, like the Golden Horned Beast, stemmed from that. Otherwise, with talent alone, his comprehension wouldn't even match Hong's. Although I might reach World Lord before Luo Feng in the future, I can't really influence his growth now. Yang Wu wasn't yet certain of becoming a World Lord himself, but given the nature of his Golden Finger advantage, as long as he didn't die, he would continue to grow stronger, so that fate would arrive sooner or later. He was still far from being the universe's strongest, however, and couldn't speak with absolute certainty. Okay. Luo Feng didn't hesitate. He breathed easier now that he knew Yang Wu's purpose. He nodded inwardly as well. He wasn't the kind of person to forget kindness. If the chance ever arose, he would repay Yang Wu. By the way, the universe you mentioned, Luo Feng asked, thinking of the second point. The vastness of the universe, Yang Wu said smoothly, outlining the ranks beyond planetary, astral rank above the planetary level, the universe rank born only in galaxies, domain lords, world lords. Even beyond world lords were the undying. The Yunmo planet's master, Huyan Bo, was considered a powerful individual among them. All of this left Luo Feng stunned. For the first time, he grasped how enormous Yang Wu's universe really was and why it made sense to find allies and grow together in the years ahead. Once I obtain the Yunmo legacy, I'll definitely be able to. Luo Feng began. Let's leave it at that for now, Yang Wu smiled. You should go back and cultivate. I need to seclude myself for a while. I'll guide your cultivation temporarily. Babata turned to Luo Feng. After you refine a Muya crystal, first break through to the planetary level. The Muya crystal's energy will sustain you. You won't need to drink or eat, so food won't be a concern. Okay, Luo Feng inhaled deeply. According to Yang Wu, a planetary level could barely survive in the wider universe. But on Earth, it was a rank beyond War God. There were only about 50 at most worldwide. Even counting king-level monsters, the total number of planetary-level beings on Earth wouldn't exceed 1,000. And in just 1 month, he could reach that level. How could Luo Feng not be excited? Once he became a planetary counselor, he could answer Shu Gang's earlier ridicule, and if the opportunity presented itself, repay Yang Wu. He pocketed the Muya crystal Yang Wu had given him and returned with Babata. He had already learned the crystal's purpose from their conversation and wasn't about to reveal it. Soon, Gao Feng, captain of the Fire Hammer Squad, received a notification from Luo Feng. Yang Wu left the team earlier, and now Luo Feng has left too. Gao Feng hung up and felt a complex stirring. So this day has come. With his strength and growth rate, staying with us would only hold him back. Gao Feng had long expected this. He'd become a soldier young, and his mentality had matured. In at most a year, another war god-like figure would likely emerge and change everything. What he didn't know was how vast the difference would be. Luo Feng was about to reach the planetary level, a completely different world. The main reason Luo Feng left the team was that, under Babata's plan, he needed to begin secluded cultivation. Back at Luo Feng's home, the 3 members of his family sat on the sofa, staring at him in stunned silence. You've reached War God Peak? Luo Hongguo pinched his own face, feeling the pain. This wasn't a dream. Brother, you're incredible. Luo Hua's face flushed. He rarely showed such emotion. His reaction revealed how excited he was. He knew what War God Peak strength meant, and he knew how fast someone at that level could earn rewards. There was a real hope of curing his disabled legs. I've only just reached War God Peak, but give me another month and I can go beyond War God, Luo Feng said with quiet confidence. Beyond War God? Son, what exactly did you do? Luo Hongguo asked, knowing Luo Feng's character. If he said it, his strength must be real. To rise this far in such a short time felt like a dream. Martial artists strolling in the community recognized what this meant. The commotion drew the attention of Chief Instructor Wu Tong at Yangzhou City Hall. It's Yang Wu. Yang Wu has gone beyond War God. Wu Tong's eyes widened. Half a year ago, Yang Wu had been ordinary. In a short time, he'd improved dramatically, becoming a martial artist through combat assessment and reaching soldier-level strength in a month. Even so, it was hard to imagine him going beyond War God, much less reaching the counselor level within half a year. The growth rates of the world's top figures, Hong and the Thunder God, were already renowned. They took years to reach counselor after the Great Nirvana, but Yang Wu had outpaced them all. Wu Tong rushed out of the hall toward Yang Wu's villa, wanting to verify the rumor. Having hesitated outside for a long time, he ultimately didn't dare enter. Since Yang Wu's rise, Wu Tong had established a connection with Supervisor Zhuge Tao, so this matter he reported directly. Supervisor Zhuge, I'm Wu Tong, he began. Zhuge Tao, wearing a black training suit, sat cross-legged in the training room as morning light filtered in through the window. He opened his eyes and snorted. Report. At Zhuge Tao's command, the camera cast a projected image onto the wall, filling the room with a huge display. Chapter 88, Huge Sensation. Director, Wu Tong speaking. Is something wrong? Zhuge Tao knew Wu Tong well. Yang Wu's talent and quick comprehension had made the younger man a familiar name. Still, With Yang Wu enrolled in the God of War training camp, the camp's contribution points and other benefits had been substantial. He listened as Wu Tong spoke respectfully. Director, Yang Wu returned to Mingyu community today. At the mere mention of Yang Wu's name, Zhuge Tao's spirits lifted. Yang Wu, he said. I thought he graduated some time ago. Where did he go? He's back now. I should go see him, Wu Tong continued. Zhuge Tao had invested in Yang Wu once. Now that Yang Wu had returned as a god of war, their relationship ought to be closer than with others. More importantly, Yang Wu's earlier potential had been terrifyingly obvious. Perhaps one day he would reach beyond War God. He's already beyond War God, Wu Tong added with a small smile. What? Zhuge Tao was stunned. He listened blankly as Wu Tong went on. Beyond War God? Is it Yang Wu, the one we sent to the God of War training camp? Zhuge Tao blurted. He became beyond War God? He couldn't believe it. If someone told him Yang Wu had become a god of war, he would have believed it. But beyond War God was another matter. There were fewer than 60 beyond War God existences on Earth out of over 7 billion people. The feat was nearly unfathomable. Yes, Director, Yang Wu is beyond War God. Wu Tong's excitement was obvious even through the line. Zhuge Tao stood up abruptly, his heart pounding, eyes wide. With Yang Wu's talent, even Zhuge Tao, one of the 4 pillars of Limit Hall in Jiangnan Bay City, felt a tremor of excitement. He's unbelievable. The most talented genius I've ever seen, he murmured, then laughed. I need to go pay my respects. Pay respects? Wu Tong paused then, thinking of Yang Wu's strength, nodded. That would be normal. Of course, just his status as a beyond war god warrants a visit, Zhuge Tao said without a trace of irony. And since he's from Jiangnan originally, even if he takes an inspector's post, he'll likely remain in Jiangnan Bay City. If he becomes inspector, he could be our direct superior. We should foster a good relationship now. Even a small favor from a beyond war god could benefit us for life. In the main urban district of Jiangnan Bay City, inside Limit Hall, Chairman Zhou Zhengyong and Inspector Liu were taking tea and chatting. On the paperwork and in public view, the chairman and the 3 chief directors were the top figures of Limit Hall. But above them sat the inspector. To become an inspector required at least advanced war god strength, and the inspector held real authority, special oversight privileges that allowed them to dismiss directors and lower positions without higher approval. In a direct clash, they could even remove the chairman. The inspector of Jiangnan headquarters years ago had dismissed 6 directors and even impeached a chairman, earning the nickname Iron-Faced Bao Zheng. No wonder Zhou Zhengyong always tried to stay on Inspector Liu's good side. A knock interrupted them. Bang! Bang! Come in, Zhou called. Zhuge Tao entered and paused when he saw Inspector Liu in the room, then composed himself. Chairman, Inspector, he greeted. Something the matter? Zhou asked. I just received word that Yang Wu returned to Yangzhou today, Zhu Tao said. He's back? Zhou shot up from the sofa. Yang Wu had been an intermediate war god when he graduated, achieving that level in just a few months. If a few more months had passed, it would have been plausible that he'd reached advanced war god. Yang Wu was a native of Jiangnan and had the potential to become advanced, so the headquarters would surely value him. If headquarters needed a candidate for inspector, Yang Wu would be at the top of the list. And if his growth continued at that rate, counselor wouldn't be far off. A beyond war god counselor would be terrifyingly powerful. Dismissing a chairman would be nothing to them. Inspector Liu stood as well. We should make time to meet him. Whether he becomes inspector or not, it's wise to build a relationship with a genius like Yang Wu. Chairman Inspector, there's something I'm not sure I should say, Zhuge Tao began, and both men leaned forward. What is it? We're not strangers. Speak freely, Zhou said. I haven't fully confirmed it, but it's very likely, Zhuge Tao said cautiously. If it's true, Yang Wu might not take an inspector position. Oh! Inspector Liu's interest was piqued. What do you mean? I think Yang Wu has already broken through to counselor, Zhuge Tao said. Counselor? Zhao echoed incredulously. That's impossible. He was going fast when he graduated, but even then, reaching beyond War God usually takes at least a year. It's only been a few months. This came from Wu Tong, who's close to Yang Wu, Zhuge Tao continued. They wouldn't joke about something this big. To verify, I checked the surveillance footage from Mingyu community. The footage shows him returning, flying back at a speed faster than a normal aircraft. If he were merely at war god level, he shouldn't be that fast. Surveillance? Zhou asked. Did you make a copy? Zhu Tao nodded. I did. Play it, Inspector Liu ordered. They watched the footage. Yang Wu streaked across the sky in a blur, far faster than any war god class movement they'd ever cataloged. Inspector Liu stared at the screen, his voice hushed. This speed is beyond war god level. It looks like a counselor. And he admitted it himself, Zhu Tao added. No matter how they parsed it, the implications were enormous. Inspector Liu could barely contain his astonishment. This is huge. In Capital Base City, in an ornate, imposing hall, leaders gathered, among them several beyond war god existences. A large screen at the front played the same footage and accompanying reports, and everyone watched in silence. Yang Wu has been confirmed as a planetary-level counselor, the presenter announced. Everyone, please share your thoughts. Chapter 89, Palace of the God of War. After the middle-aged planetary-level man finished speaking, he took a pack of cigarettes from his pocket, lit one, and began to smoke. Smoke filled the hall. In a place like this, no one dared call him out. I didn't expect another Beyond War God being to have emerged among us Chinese, someone said. And judging by his flight speed, he's definitely not an ordinary Beyond War God being. That's right. In terms of speed, he might even be on par with Hong. No matter Yang Wu's background, he's worth recruiting. There are only 3 or 4 planetary-level individuals who can truly serve our country. I suggest we contact Yang Wu immediately. China was the first to learn this news, but it didn't stay secret in the Mingyue community. Residents who first heard it were stunned and immediately began forwarding it across social networks. The news that Yang Wu had become a counselor spread quickly around the world, though most people remained skeptical. Yang Wu's talent was undeniable, but he had only risen for a little over a year. A planetary-level counselor was not something achieved overnight. Why had the announcement come so abruptly? Even the Dojo of Limits had shown no significant reaction. Could it be a rumor? At first, people were half believing, half doubting. Then Hong, the strongest person on Earth, personally confirmed the news and announced the date for Yang Wu's installation as inspector. Doubt vanished and was replaced by shock. Yang Wu had truly become a planetary-level counselor. Astonishing news. A storm began to brew across the globe. The Thunder Marshal Hall and major powers like the HR Alliance quickly received the news. Some veterans in the Thunder Marshal Hall were furious, cursing the Dojo of Limits for their luck in producing yet another counselor. Thunder God, master of the Thunder Marshal Hall, had already emerged from seclusion after receiving the secret method Hong had provided via Yang Wu. The HR Alliance immediately began drafting plans for how to deal with Yang Wu. The world looked calm on the surface, but powerful currents were churning beneath. Meanwhile, after Yang Wu trained for a while in the hall, he received an unfamiliar call. Hello, this is Yang Wu. Who is this? He listened carefully to the voice on the other end, then nodded. I understand. The War God Palace assessment? He murmured to himself when the call ended, and walked down the stairs. When someone became a god of war, they typically joined the War God Palace and received a consciousness inducer. The palace also sent people to test a recruit's strength. Yang Wu had already surpassed God of War rank, so the extra step seemed unnecessary. Outside, he found 3 men in uniform waiting, one carrying a metal box. Yang Wu took it and removed the consciousness inducer helmet. With that helmet, he could enter the palace's virtual space from anywhere on Earth. If Babata had been present, it would have been even simpler. Without the helmet, he could have entered the War God Palace directly. One uniformed man saw him take out the helmet, pulled out a laptop, and tapped a wireless keyboard. Mr. Yang Wu, welcome to the War God Palace. Before entry, a routine strength assessment is required. On the screen, a pop-up read, War God Palace application, assessing. No problem. Let's go to the training hall and talk, Yang Wu said, leading the 3 men upstairs. But before they could climb the stairs, a sharp beep sounded. The staff member frowned. Another pop-up had appeared on the laptop. War God Palace assessment. Passed. I haven't been assessed yet, and no video's been uploaded. How did it pass? The man said, surprised. He'd done this job a long time, and had never seen it happen that way. He'd heard that a few exceptional individuals, those whose strength had been recognized by the War God Palace Council, were exempt from the assessment and passed automatically. That was rare. Council recognition meant the council itself, composed only of beyond War God beings, had validated Yang Wu's strength. There were safety concerns with using the consciousness inducer at home. Once the dark blue helmet went on, your consciousness entered virtual space, and you were vulnerable to assassination. But within the base city area, no one in a martial arts community would dare try that. Besides, with the Black God suit protecting him, the current Yang Wu could not be killed by an ordinary planetary-level opponent, even if he lay still and let them attack. Others worry about safety, but I don't, Yang Wu said with a smile, and black skin extended from his body. With the Black God suit's protection, what was there to fear? The consciousness inducer also had a safety device that could detect intruders in the surrounding area. He said it. Safety range, 5 meters by 5 meters. If anyone breached that zone, his consciousness would be automatically kicked out of the virtual space. Swish! He put the helmet on. The Black God suit extended to cover the dark blue helmet. Yang Wu sat cross-legged on the ground like a black statue. He was still curious about the War God Palace. The War God Palace was the most powerful human martial organization on Earth, jointly founded by first speaker Hong and second speaker Thunder God. All gods of war and beyond, War God beings on Earth were members. The palace was governed by the War God Palace Council, and only beyond War God beings could become counselors. Ordinary gods of war wore white robes. Counselors, like Yang Wu, wore golden robes. The virtual private room around him was vast. By visual estimate, it was over 50 meters long, about 20 meters wide, and 5 meters high, more than 1,000 square meters. In the center stood a large circular bed 3 meters across. In front of it was an indoor pool 10 meters by 20. There were a bed, pool, desk, and chairs, a luxurious dining table, lounge chairs, and a practice area with yoga mats. The enormous space was neatly divided into functional areas. "Welcome, Counselor Yang Wu," an electronic voice said. "This is your private room within the War God Palace. No one may enter your room except you." Chapter 90, Member of the War God Palace. This is your private room within the War God Palace. No one but you may enter. In the War God Palace, you may order anything you wish to eat or drink. There are many delicacies here that do not exist in reality. On your desk is a book, War God Palace Regulations, which you can read to better understand the palace. Enjoy your stay in the War God Palace. The electronic voice faded away. Yang Wu casually flipped through the War God Palace Regulations. It was only one page, concise and straightforward. He skimmed it, put it aside, and didn't dwell on it. The view outside this room is something else. The desk was set beside a floor-to-ceiling window that occupied an entire wall. Beyond it spread a boundless landscape shrouded in mist, sunlight piercing layers of cloud and refracting into a 7-colored glow like a dream. Even knowing this was a virtual space, the experience felt utterly real, so vivid it left him impressed. If a single virtual room in the War God Palace can be like this, he thought, the virtual universe must be even more incredible. He headed out to find the other gods of war and the counselors. Wearing the consciousness induction helmet had been his first step inside the palace. This was his first full walk around. He followed a corridor out to an outer wall walkway nearly 9 meters wide. The walkway resembled a city wall. Yang Wu leaned over and looked down. Below stretched a vast plaza belonging to the War God Palace, with 9 arenas spread across it. The first-floor hall was immense. Rows of sofas and seats filled the space. There had to be several thousand seats, and already, because of Yang Wu's matter, nearly 3,000 people had gathered. They sat in 2s and 3s, drinking and talking. Suddenly, the hall dimmed. The light softened to a low glow, and the background music cut off instantly. Whoosh! All the gods of war who had been conversing turned toward the staircase, their gazes fixed on Yang Wu. Clang! A crisp sound rolled through the hall, and then loud, jubilant music burst forth. Nearly 1,000 gods of war rose and clapped in unison, the elite of human society, wealthy, powerful, perched at the top of the social pyramid. Driven by the music, they celebrated one unified thing, the newly promoted counselor powerhouse, Yang Wu. A faint spotlight fell on him. Today, the War God Palace welcomes a brand new counselor powerhouse. His name, Yang Wu, a rough, godlike voice announced. A three-dimensional projection hovered above the hall, lines of holographic text appearing. Name, Yang Wu. Nationality, China. Level, counselor. Those three lines stunned everyone. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. From now on, the total number of counselors in human society increases by 1 to 53. As the voice echoed, the huge display in the hall, which had read 52, flicked to 53. The new 53 split into high-definition individual portraits, Yang Wu's profile appearing among them. His picture first appeared as a small black dot in the center, then expanded to fill the screen. It held for 5 seconds before shrinking down to the size of the others and slotting into the grid with the 52 existing counselors. The celebratory music faded, the spotlight vanished, and calm returned, but the crowd's conversation only intensified. Gods of War began exchanging observations. Most had never heard of Yang Wu before. Some recalled only a rumor of a genius, never imagining he'd become a powerhouse. How did the intelligence miss this? One complained. Even something as important as a new counselor? Find out who he is and try to win him over, a stern middle-aged man ordered his companion. Don't offend him. If you can't recruit him, at least keep a good relationship. China has produced another counselor powerhouse, said a hawk-nosed man, his expression darkening. Thump, thump, thump. Sudden footsteps sounded on the spiral staircase. Conversation dropped as everyone looked up. Down the stairs came a procession. The black-clad man Hong, a dark presence that seemed to swallow light around him, and beside him, the bald, middle-aged thunder god, who had been in seclusion until Hong brought him out. Behind them followed all the chairman and counselor-level powerhouses, descending one after another. The hall went utterly silent, so quiet a pin could be heard. Thunder God's smile was genial, but it carried an aura that made people involuntarily tremble. His gaze landed on Yang Wu. This was their first meeting. "Haha, Yang Wu, you did very well. I must thank you," Thunder God said, clapping him on the shoulder with an outward warmth that nonetheless felt powerful. "I'm not as rich as Brother Hong, though." Hong smiled slightly, lips curving as he looked across the gathered gods of war. "From today onward, Yang Wu will be the 53rd counselor of my War God Palace. We respectfully obey the first chairman's command." Everyone present intoned in unison. Hong nodded, his body rising slightly, so even those at the back could see him. Chapter 91, The Sixth Inspector. When Thunder God and I established the War God Palace to gather everyone, we hoped that all of you, the elite of humanity, would strive for the survival of the human race. Hong's voice rang out, firm and commanding. And these past few days, I've been very pleased. Yang Wu's appearance has shown me that more and more human powerhouses are rising. He even found us a very precious secret method. I thank everyone here. The other powerhouses standing nearby were visibly stunned. Most of them still didn't know the details of the secret method Yang Wu had provided. "I won't go through every detail of the secret method now," Hong continued. "I only want to say this. This secret method is hugely useful to everyone. If your comprehension is high enough, you can abandon the cultivation systems you've used before and focus entirely on the secret method Yang Wu has given. Of course, the secret method isn't free. For specifics, check the Dojo of Limits official site." After the gods of war left the War God Palace, they all rushed to inquire about the secret method. Chaos swept through the ranks of the war gods. Their expressions mirrored Hong's, eyes filled with urgent longing. For many of them, the revelation was too shocking to accept at once. Techniques they had taken as perfect were suddenly exposed as flawed. Except for a small number of insiders at the Dojo of Limits, most of the war gods couldn't hide their awkward dismay. Those who reached the rank of war god were extraordinarily talented. They had spent their lives refining cultivation arts and never expected their methods to be incomplete. Even the most determined among them felt a pang of loss. And yet Yang Wu had provided a correct method of applying force. He became a luminous guide and pioneer in their eyes. Yang Wu's standing rose even higher in many hearts. Martial artists on the cusp of buying secret methods discovered a new system that even surpassed the two ultimate techniques, World Annihilation and Nine Heavy Thunderblade. This new secret method was called Basic 312 Forms. It eclipsed the ultimate techniques of Hong and Thunder God, and each individual form within it carried a steep price. The primary beneficiary would be Yang Wu, but he no longer cared about money on Earth. January 18th, 2057, the day Yang Wu assumed the title of Inspector. It was a major event for the Dojo of Limits and was presented as a public appointment. In truth, the public aspect extended only to high-ranking officials of various countries. Ordinary martial artists and the general populace knew little about those called the Beyond War Gods. At 2 p.m. sharp, the Global Dojo of Limits headquarters, large conference hall, opened its doors, and the inspector inauguration ceremony began. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Global Dojo of Limits Inspector Inauguration Ceremony, the host announced. Today's attendees include the global head of the Dojo of Limits, Hong. The camera panned to Hong, seated in the center of the front row. The global head of Thunder Martial Hall, Thunder God. The third speaker of the War God Palace, Mohanderson. The fourth speaker of the War God Palace, East. One by one, important figures sat calmly as a 3D projection on the stage displayed each guest. And finally, I would like to introduce Counselor Yang Wu, who is about to assume the post of the 6th Inspector of the Global Dojo of Limits. Ha! Who would have thought that the genius we once watched would now be among our ranks? Inspector Wang beside Yang Wu chuckled softly. And he's still so young, with boundless prospects. Liu He, also sitting next to Yang Wu, smiled. An inspector's inauguration was a big deal. Even the two head instructors and the other speakers attended, unless urgent matters prevented them. Most of the ceremony was a glowing presentation of Yang Wu's past, his glorious deeds, interspersed with performances by the world's top singers and dancers. Yang Wu sat below and watched the whole time. The event was essentially an extended introduction to his history. They covered everything. How Yang Wu lived diligently in a communal building, how he trained in the martial arts hall, his first martial artist combat assessment, his first expedition into the wilderness area with the Firehammer Squad, his time in the elite training camp. Teacher Zhang Fang even took the stage. Every story was positive, painting Yang Wu as a flawless prodigy. Feeling proud? Liu He asked with a laugh. A little, Yang Wu admitted, smiling. I'm even starting to admire myself. The planned 2-hour ceremony neared its end. Distinguished guests, the host said, his voice rising. Now comes the most important moment of this event. Please welcome Counselor Yang Wu. Yang Wu stood and, to the sound of music, walked onto the stage beneath the gaze of the entire hall. Next, please welcome our global number 1, head of the Dojo of Limits, Hong, the host said. Hong, dressed in black, strode onto the stage. Applause thundered from the audience. Head instructor, Yang Wu said, looking at Hong. After the ceremony, come find me to claim your rewards. Hong replied with a faint smile. With a slight flick of his hand, the Dojo of Limits inspection order, the symbol of an inspector's authority, materialized in the air. With that, the Dojo of Limits, Earth's strongest military organization, gained a 6th inspector, Yang Wu. Adding another counselor and appointing an inspector might have been standard procedure, but Yang Wu's name had been circulating for some time. Everyone present looked at him with heated interest. More than a few attendees were already thinking about how to promote their daughters and nieces. Yang Wu was clearly unmarried, and if they didn't seize the chance now, the opportunity might pass them by. Planet Level 4? After the ceremony, Hong regarded Yang Wu with an intense expression. Truly terrifying. He understood just how terrifying Yang Wu's talent was. At his current growth rate, Yang Wu was already knocking on the door of Earth's top 3. Given time, Hong believed Yang Wu might even supplant the global number 1. Yang Wu's past acceleration had been so extreme that no one could predict his eventual ceiling. But potential was one thing. Reaching planet level 4 so quickly was another. Something wholly inexplicable. Dojo of Limits headquarters. The reception room was empty and dim, with only 2 cushions on the floor. You really reached planetary level 4? Hong's voice held genuine surprise. Yes, Yang Wu nodded. Hong had an auxiliary optical computer, so he could naturally sense Yang Wu's power, and Yang Wu had no reason to hide it. The auxiliary optical computer was relatively low-end, though, so it couldn't detect Yang Wu's life gene rank. Hong could see Yang Wu as planetary level 4, but had no way of knowing that Yang Wu's basic physical quality alone rivaled an ordinary planetary level 6. Such talent. Hong's eyes were full of admiration. Experts were lonely. Once invincible, there were no peers left for comparison, and Hong disliked that emptiness. Heroes respected one another. He had no wish to pry into Yang Wu's secrets. I didn't expect you'd become planetary level 4, but enough about that. Let's talk about the secret method rewards. With a wave of his hand, Hong produced a massive projection screen that filled the room, displaying numerous items and their prices. They were grouped by category: secret manuals, intelligent fighter jets, battlesuits, weapons, and elixirs, each with a profusion of holographic items that glittered enticingly. This is the exchange list. You currently have 200 star points. See if there's anything you want. Hong fell silent and let Yang Wu study the list. Yang Wu already had a clear goal. He immediately zeroed in on the intelligent fighter jets. The price list read: King-level intelligent fighter jet, 2 star points; Universe-level intelligent fighter jet, 15 star points; Honghuang-level intelligent fighter jet, 60 star points. I want a Honghuang-level intelligent fighter jet, Yang Wu said without hesitation. He wanted speed. These jets far outpace the flight speed of a planetary martial artist. As for secret manuals, after inheriting Yunmo planet techniques, Earth's secret methods held little appeal. Most Earth-made battlesuits and weapons couldn't match the Black God suit. They weren't worth exchanging for. Indeed, the Black God suit was a precious defensive suit even among Yunmo planet planetary practitioners. Few on Earth could rival it. I have no other needs, Yang Wu added. The Honghuang-level jet can be given to you now. Hong waved. The holograms vanished, and the room dimmed again. Mr. Yang Wu. The red-robed man smiled. Look over there, your Honghuang-level fighter jet. Yang Wu turned. Parked on an open pad nearby sat a blood-red triangular fighter jet. Its fuselage flowed in graceful curves like a piece of art. About 20 meters long and more than 10 meters across, it looked substantial and sturdy. My Honghuang-level jet. Pride fluttered through him. Who wouldn't be proud to own a fighter jet? They were costly. Only a few planetary-level practitioners could afford them, and even then, their jets were inferior to a proper king-level craft. Mr. Yang Wu, since you haven't used this jet before, it requires an initial system recognition. Please follow me. The red-robed man led the way. A hazy blue light descended and enveloped Yang Wu. With a soft whoosh, the hatch opened. Only you can enter for now. I cannot, the red-robed man said, inability and envy in his tone. All system recognition will be handled by the intelligence system. Stay inside the cockpit a moment, and you'll understand everything. Yang Wu nodded. He also knew the first authority over the Honghuang-level jet belonged to Hong. Yang Wu would be second. If Hong wanted, he could monitor anything Yang Wu did inside the jet, or even reclaim it. That was a sensible precaution for a seller to keep. He stepped into the cabin. The seats were supremely comfortable, luxurious even. The hatch closed with a quiet click, and lights along the jet's components blinked alive, bathing the cockpit in a dreamlike glow. Hello, Master. I will now demonstrate the control methods of this Honghuang-level intelligent fighter jet. A virtual projection appeared before him, showing clear images and text that explained the jet's controls. Beep! A red light beam shot to Yang Wu's communication watch on his left wrist and began installing the remote control interface for the jet. Although Babada has temporarily left, the auxiliary optical computer I obtained from the Ninth Ruins isn't low-end, Yang Wu thought. It should be no worse than Hong's. Let's see if I can adjust the permissions. Yang Wu trained his auxiliary optical computer on the Honghuang jet and issued a command. The buttons on his communication watch lit up in a dazzling array of colors. After about 30 seconds, everything settled. Text appeared on the auxiliary display. Permissions modified successfully. With the change, Hong would no longer detect the jet as his own. It would obey Yang Wu as primary and leave Hong as second authority. Hong's auxiliary optical computer really is limited, Yang Wu mused. Intelligent fighter jet, I'll name you now. 1. Yes, Master. An electronic voice replied. With the permissions adjusted, Yang Wu prepared to enter the nutrient cabin aboard the Yunmo planet ship for seclusion. Mist Island, he said, as if invoking its name. The hatch sealed, and the Honghuang level jet shot into the sky. Its speed exceeded even Yang Wu's own flying pace, and he reached Mist Island in no time. Inside the Yunmo planet spacecraft, Yang Wu smiled and headed for the nutrient cabin. He would spend the next period simply absorbing the nutrient solution. Inside the cabin, completely unclothed and perfectly proportioned, Yang Wu floated in dark gray nutrient fluid. Streams of vital energy flowed through every pore, rapidly seeping into his body. That strange, life-rich power immediately began to promote improvements and evolutionary changes in the genetic material of his cells. Chapter 93: Planetary Level Pinnacle and Advanced Missions. Yang Wu's hair kept lengthening. His skin took on a radiant sheen, his bones grew denser, his muscle fibers tightened and thickened, and his explosive power increased with every breath. Inside his dantian, that strange luminous spot spun faster and faster, greedily drawing in the energy refined from the Muya crystal. Every newly transformed cell was ravenous. They devoured the incoming energy like starving mouths. The absorption itself catalyzed further evolution of Yang Wu's body. As his physical foundation improved, so too did the amount of gene power he could contain. Pure primal energy, filtered from the Muya crystal, flowed into him from the nutrient solution and fused directly into his being. Time passed in a blur. The crimson primal energy swelled like a sea of blood, surging together into a massive blood sphere that pulsed and contracted until the whole world seemed to consist of that single beating globe. With one final contraction, his dantian detonated, and a miniature, dazzling, glowing planet took shape within him. Yang Wu's gene power had reached planetary level 5, and that planet carried a threefold life gene level. Even purer primal energy, condensed inside each miniature planet, rose like mist and suffused his whole body. His physical quality and gene power leapt from planetary level 4 to planetary level 5. Yang Wu smiled to himself. There was still plenty of nutrient solution left. He might as well keep going. As he absorbed more, another miniature planet formed, then another. Level 6, level 7, on and on he climbed. Elsewhere, Luo Feng quickly reached the planetary level as well and became the 7th inspector. The Shu family were not fools. Seeing Luo Feng's terrifying rise, they courted him eagerly. With mutual consent, Luo Feng had little trouble winning the beauty. "You were only married yesterday, and you're already here for special training. So diligent," Babata teased with a wicked grin. "I love training you." "Although I'm a planetary level, I'm still behind many others," Luo Feng said. "Oh?" Babata floated closer, stroking his chin. "You found your weakness? Then let's begin. Your comprehension isn't low. I estimate you'll pass this series of training in a few months." "A series of training?" Luo Feng frowned. During the period when he used the Muya crystal to break through to planetary level, the little devil had already put him through hell. Babata only grinned wider. "We have plenty of time. I'll train you well." War God Palace became Luo Feng's training ground. Babata could enter whenever he pleased. "Dodge! Dodge! Dodge!" the little devil roared, driving Luo Feng to move faster than he ever had. For every mistake, Babata mocked him. When Luo Feng improved, the insults shifted from idiot to so-so to barely decent. The training environments changed at Babata's whim, grasslands dissolving into massive mechanical factories, and Luo Feng kept adapting, becoming a hazy phantom of motion under relentless assault. Time wore on, and the little devil's lessons sharpened Luo Feng steadily. Back in the nutrient capsule, Yang Wu lay motionless, feeling each subtle change ripple through him. Even a great being who could partially manipulate the time origin law would find the universe correcting itself. Time could not be forced indefinitely. He had been inside that capsule over a year. His physical quality climbed rapidly. Planetary level 7, then 8, then 9, and finally the planetary level peak. Beyond that, his current black iron level cultivation could no longer raise his physical quality or gene power further. The black iron level still offered improvements to explosiveness, movement, and blade techniques, but their ceilings were limited. Yang Wu had no desire to chase minor gains now. After completing all stages of the previous Bull King challenge mission, he had triggered a new kind of advancement possibility once before. A reward that might even produce a golden horn beast clone. He wanted to test whether such rewards could appear again. If he grew too strong, however, he might no longer trigger certain challenge missions, so he planned to keep cultivating over the next few years. This transformation took more than a year. Yang Wu checked the time on his communicator and smiled. He casually threw a punch. The air exploded outward. Under the blessing of a threefold life gene level, his physical strength and gene power were 3 times that of a normal planetary level peak. A casual punch now far exceeds my previous full burst under the 9 heavy Thunderblade when I was only planetary level 4, he thought without hesitation. The surge in his Dantian and body left no doubt. At the peak, the system triggered an advancement mission. Physical quality has reached the limit that the current life gene level can bear, triggering the advancement mission, Life Leap. Mission brief: Life Leap is a transformation of life. This transformation is more crucial than any previous breakthrough. Referencing complete. Mission generated. Optional Mission 1, breakthrough on your own. Mission completion reward, none. Optional Mission 2, defeat the Golden Horn Beast. Bathe in the blood of a Golden Horn Beast possessing a 10-fold life gene level to forge an extraordinary astral rank body. Mission completion reward, life gene level increased to 10 times that of an ordinary person. Completing any one optional mission counts as completing the advancement mission, Life Leap. Yang Wu's face lit up. He had expected this to be a conventional slow upgrade like past advancement missions, requiring tremendous cultivation. Instead, the system offered a shortcut, and one he could probably exploit. Even now, without further cultivation, he was confident he could defeat an astral rank 1 Golden Horn Beast. If he had never joined Yunmo Star, reaching planetary level 9 alone would have been almost impossible. Now the chance to leap to a 10-fold life gene level was sitting in front of him. A sudden, eager plan took shape in his mind. Chapter 94, Relic Number 12. Most importantly, the reward was simply terrifying. 10 times the life gene level. That level of increase was what the Golden Horn Beast's World Lord rank bloodline could grant. In the original story, Luo Feng's Earthling clone had to work endlessly to fuse 10 Blood River crystals to reach a 10-fold life gene level, and even then, his body was only astral rank. Yet here, Yang Wu could reach 10 times the life gene level with his current astral rank body. 10 times the life gene level meant his comprehension would multiply tenfold. Completing the mission would also indirectly raise the conversion ratio of his cultivation insights. Looking at all of this, it was not hard to see how monstrously valuable the reward was. And considering the mission's difficulty, as long as he didn't throw his life away, it was something he could realistically complete. No matter what, this mission is too important to fail, Yang Wu said, eyes narrowing. It's a pity I still have to wait more than 2 years. In the meantime, there's plenty to do, Babata replied. Talent improvement, for one, the sooner the better. On Earth, improving innate talent was probably impossible. Then the spaceship must be secured as soon as possible. Enter the universe early, and talent will improve faster. One of the things Luo Feng and the others had coveted on their trip to the World of Worlds had been Territory Lord rank bloodline potions. Obtaining one would boost talent by more than a single level. As for spaceships, the automaton race vessel in Relic Number 1 was out of reach. He couldn't get it out. That left Relic Number 12. Inside it, there was a Black Dragon Mountain, X-81 model spaceship. It wasn't top tier, and its cruising speed wasn't incredible, but it could at least reach light speed and perform Dark Universe jumps. 1 year of flight in the Dark Universe was worth far more than 1 light year of distance. February 2nd, 2058. Today, Yang Wu headed for Relic Number 12. With his current strength, the ruins might be a little risky, but with caution, it wouldn't be a big problem. With Babata guiding him, the odds were even better. The night was deep and the moon hidden behind ragged clouds. Over the endless, heaving ocean, a blood-red intelligent fighter swept like a phantom. It was the Hongwang-level intelligent fighter jet Yang Wu had traded for from Hong a year before. Below them lay the Hawaiian Islands, the location of Relic Number 12. The triangular blood-red fighter settled on the sea surface. Its hatch opened and a figure dropped out, Yang Wu, wearing a gray-black combat suit with a black god suit overlay and the cloud-caressing vine armor beneath. "This is the location of the Relic Number 12 ruins," he murmured. looking down at the deep, dark water. The three great forbidden lands were, in short, the damaged cosmic fleet of Relic Number 12 in the Hawaiian Islands, the silver-white pyramid automaton race vessel at the bottom of the sea in Bermuda Number 1, and the toxic gas source Zerg Mother Nest in Shenangjia Number 31. The last was far too terrifying, dormant now, and Yang Wu had no intention of disturbing it. Sea surface to seabed is about 5,100 meters, Babata reported cautiously, and the Relic Number 12 ruins lie 3,300 meters beneath the seabed. Under Babata's navigation, Yang Wu's route was precise even though they were surrounded by seawater. The deep sea teemed with monsters. Although many of those sea creatures could attack inland via rivers, only a small portion actually did. The oceans were simply too vast and too full of creatures. On land, there might be a few king-level monsters, perhaps no beast emperors, but the total number of human warriors worldwide barely approached 1 million. By contrast, when a level 2 beast tide erupted, monster numbers reached hundreds of millions. Even lower-level outbreaks like the level 3 rat tide Yang Wu had experienced numbered in the tens of millions. Monsters reproduced in litters of dozens. A wholesale extermination of monsters was not a feasible policy for humanity. That was why the world negotiated peace with the beasts instead of waging total war. Even someone as capable as Yang Wu kept quiet. Absolute peace without any crisis was not necessarily a good thing. As he dove, Yang Wu encountered several ignorant sea monsters. He killed them effortlessly. Had it not been for his mission, he might have lost himself to slaughtering. Seabed. Yang Wu stepped down and landed on a surface that undulated like a mountain range. The crushing pressure, at around 5,000 meters, had been greatly reduced by the cloud-caressing vine armor. For sheer impact reduction and defense, the cloud-caressing vine far surpassed the Black God suit, especially after Babata's initial cultivation had significantly raised the vine's life level. 3,300 meters below, Babata reminded him. Yang Wu plunged again, driving through the seabed rock and sinking deeper. He knew that with Earth's contemporary technology, this relic would never have been found on its own. The wreckage instruments from interstellar warships and the like what ultimately led humanity to these discoveries. Except for a few things, like the Yunmo star number and Babata himself, which could isolate signals and disguise themselves, almost all of the relics on Earth had been uncovered by such remains. Yang Wu, we're here, Babata said quickly. Bang! As Yang Wu broke through another layer of rock, his body shuddered from colliding with something hard. Warship wreckage? Babata's eyes lit up. His brief scan covered a 500-meter radius, and a rough model came together in his processors. This relic wasn't merely a fragment. It was the mothership of a cosmic fleet. Where had the ship come from? Long, long ago, the Yunmo Planet Master had come to the Milky Way and claimed it as his domain. To establish his dominance, he had obliterated a cosmic fleet of the Silver Blue Empire from the Black Dragon Mountain starfield with a single psychic strike. The mothership had plummeted into the depths of the Pacific and lain there until humans finally discovered it after countless tens of thousands of years. Strictly speaking, the mysterious Relic Number 12 wasn't the entire 16,000-meter-long mothership. Hidden inside it was a saucer-shaped spaceship about 100 meters across, the Black Dragon Mountain X-81 model vessel. Chapter 95, Hai Longshan Spaceship. Although the Black Dragon Mountain X-81 model spaceship lay damaged, its terrifying power still lingered. Over the years, nations across Earth had tried every trick to obtain it. Many people had died in the attempt, even astral-rank powerhouses. To this day, the ship remained largely intact. Naturally, it had become Yang Wu's prize. Tsk. I had planned to build a ship myself once, but a self-built one can't compare to a ready-made model, he muttered. The truth was, even if Babata could have built a ship, it wouldn't match this one. The craftsmanship of the Black Dragon Mountain X-81 was far beyond earthly capability. Its hull was made of a metal called wuyi. No matter how talented a builder, without the right materials, all you can make is an ordinary ship. But how did you know there was a ship in Relic Number 12? Babata asked, excited but puzzled. Since Yang Wu had joined the Yunmo star lineage, Babata had never quite been able to figure him out. Yang Wu's actions were full of mystery. I saw it online, Yang Wu said straight-faced, clearly joking. Someone said this relic looked like a spaceship, so I checked it out. Babata snorted. I'll believe you when pigs fly. This mothership is 16,000 meters long, 3,200 meters wide, and 800 meters high, Yang Wu continued. It's not the largest warship in the fleet, but it has the strongest defense and the most powerful offensive systems. Don't go in yet. Let me scan for danger. Babata had detection methods of his own and quickly swept the wreck. Yang Wu, the mothership is damaged. Its defenses are gone. Most internal weapons have been dismantled long ago. The ones that aren't have decayed. In short, the ship's defensive power is gone. Follow this passage straight ahead. The core of Relic No. 12 was a sealed compartment of the mothership. As they moved through the wreckage, Yang Wu encountered no defensive measures. Moments later, they arrived at a secret, enormous chamber where a disc-shaped ship about 100 meters across sat parked. The ship was black and had been buried for who knew how many tens of thousands of years. Its fuselage showed almost no corrosion, and on the black hull a double-winged giant dragon emblem was visible. Ha! So it's true. It's actually here, Babata crowed. Among the fleet my master destroyed back then, that mothership must have carried an important figure, someone who could afford an X-81. No wonder no one on Earth could get inside. The X-81 is a famous adventure-class model in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. The Black Dragon Mountain Empire controlled the Black Dragon Mountain starfield. Even the Silver Blue Empire had been only one of its 500-plus vassal states. Babata was ecstatic. Yang Wu looked up at the ship as if he could peer into its central control room and see the commander who had died tens of thousands of years ago and the 3 Luyan guards standing silently. The X-81's cost exceeded that of the entire mothership. Its standard weapons were powerful enough to kill astral rank 7th or 8th. In the original story, Luo Feng and Babata had pulled a B6 level laser cannon from an X-81, and a single shot nearly ended everything. There's hope, Babata said with a chuckle. If I can get inside and hack the X-81's intelligence system, I can control the whole ship. The toughest part of Relic number 12 is the entrance corridor. After you open the hatch, it's an entry corridor, Yang Wu explained. At the far end stood the ship's gate, but the corridor itself was a laser passage. The beams could easily kill a planetary-level 5th or 6th rank warrior. Of all the human powerhouses on Earth, only Yang Wu, Hong, and Thunder God could wear the Black God suit and reach the end of that passage. Yang Wu's current body was dozens of times stronger than theirs, so the laser corridor wouldn't trouble him. But at the gate's end, Hong and Thunder God were helpless. The gate required the strength of an astral rank 3rd or 4th rank fighter to lift. I can try, but there's not much hope, Yang Wu said. Still, if Babata can handle the gate, we're fine. Yang Wu's eyes flicked over the ship. The X-81 was repairable. The Yunmo star number he also coveted was not. The X-81 might be worth less than the Yunmo star number, but the latter was beyond repair by Babata. If they could fix the X-81, Yang Wu could board it and go adventuring across the universe. Going into space meant anything could happen. Hatch! Yang Wu floated to the doorway, grasped the hatch's seam with both hands, and pushed with all his strength. Open! Whoosh! The hatch swung aside, revealing a 30-meter passage. Its lining wasn't glass or solid panels as Yang Wu had pictured. It was a wall of small apertures. A laser corridor, he said, smiling slightly. The beams here could kill a planetary level 5th or 6th, but Yang Wu could withstand them. He surged forward. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. White beams flared, slicing across the passage. Some lasers seemed to track him, the apertures pivoting to aim straight at Yang Wu. The beams traveled at 300,000 kilometers per second, far faster than any of his movements. Boom! Several strikes hit the Black God suit. The suit absorbed and weakened the damage, but the impact blasted Yang Wu outward at even greater speed. He suffered no real harm. The original text said the gate needs an astral rank 3rd or 4th to lift. Yang Wu murmured, smiling. My life gene level is 3 times that of normal people, so I'll give it a shot. He roared and strained to lift the gate, but it didn't budge. Babata laughed. Haha, Yang Wu, this one's still got my touch. He waved his hand, and a strange tool appeared before Yang Wu. At first glance, it looked like an axe. The blade was hair-thin, oddly shaped, about 3 meters long and over a meter wide, an odd, ultra-thin implement. What you need to do is insert this into the gap beneath the gate, Babata instructed. All right, Yang Wu said, taking the strange tool. He fitted the axe blade end into the hatch seam and, like using a car jack, forced the sealed hatch open. Come on, let's see if there's anything good inside, Babata urged. Whoever could afford a ship like this must have been a big shot in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. We'll probably find something valuable. The jack lifted the hatch more than a meter. Yang Wu smiled and stepped into the dark corridor beyond. Haha, Yang Wu, we're on a Black Dragon Mountain X-81 model ship now, Babata crowed. Head to the command room and plug my signal device into the ship's intelligence interface. Only by linking to the ship's AI can I crack its defenses and take control. Understood. Yang Wu nodded. A small object like a memory card appeared before him. He reached out and took it. Just slot the gold end into the interface. Lead the way, Babata added. Left. Following Babata's directions, Yang Wu moved quickly through the ship. The command room of the X-81 was pitch dark until Yang Wu crossed the threshold. Ding! Lights flared across the spacious bridge. A man in a military uniform sat motionless in the center chair, 3 black uniformed subordinates standing behind him, frozen in place. The control panel lit up, characters in the universal script scrolling across the screen. Human planetary level martial artist intruding. Threat level high. Engage. Containment. On the lower deck, in a sealed chamber, 3 metal sentries stood dead still. Each was roughly 2.1 to 2.2 meters tall, black metal bodies with red crystal eyes. The moment the ship's AI registered the intrusion, the crystals flared to life. Click, click, their internal energy systems surged. The sealed door began to open. The 3 robots streaked out in single file like black comets. Yang Wu was on the stairs between the mid and upper decks when a black streak shot up after him. The machine that reached the top was entirely forged from dark metal. Red light pulsed in its eyes. Its fists were grotesquely oversized, like 2 heavy hammers. Luyin guards? Yang Wu glanced up, then waved a hand lazily. Boom! The attacker slammed into the wall beside the stairwell and skidded to a stop. The strike left only a faint mark. Whoosh, whoosh! The other 2 leaped up the stairs and attacked. Their blows weren't particularly powerful, but they were cast from an incredibly hard alloy. Yang Wu could not easily tear them apart. The 3 were made of wuyi metal, extraordinarily tough. They could even hold against an astral-rank golden-horned beast or contain a universe-rank expert. If Yang Wu got embroiled with them, it would be almost impossible to reach the command room. Babata, hurry, he said, raising an eyebrow. Their hulls are too hard to break. These metal robots are controlled wirelessly by the ship's AI, Babata replied. If the security level isn't too high, I can crack the signal. I've been working on it while you distracted them. I've taken control of the 3 of them. The robots, poised to charge, froze mid-movement and stood obediently still. All right, let's go into the command room, Babata chuckled. Yang Wu nodded. The biggest obstacle to claiming the ship had been neutralized. The 3 metal sentries fell in behind him as he approached a beautifully carved silver door. We've reached the command room, Babata said. Yang Wu pushed the door open. It had not been opened since the ship sank. A faint current flowed between the bridge and the corridor, sending a gentle breeze through the spacious, lavish room. The man in the central chair crumbled like dust. The 3 black uniformed guards behind him collapsed to powder as well. Wealth and rank mean nothing against time, only strength endures, Yang Wu murmured. An astral rank typically lived at most 1 epoch, 10,081 years. As an extraordinary planetary level, he could live 100,800 years. Higher life gene levels extended lifespan. If he wanted, he could appear in 10 editions of the Talent War hosted by the Virtual Universe Corporation, but he had no desire to wait that long. Time waited for no one. After 100,000 years, Luofeng would already be undying. That military official really was a big shot, Babata observed, then turned its attention to the bridge's console. A green-haired female avatar appeared on the screen and stared at Yang Wu. Characters in the universal script echoed through the room. Yang Wu had come to grips with the universal language over the past year under Babata's tutelage. He still translated it in his head from time to time, but listening and responding was no longer as exhausting. Yang Wu, insert the signal device into the green slot on the left side of the control panel, Babata said with a small smile. Ignore the ship's AI bluster. An intelligence is just an intelligence. No match for me, Yang Wu thought. Once I control the ship, I'll hack the Luyan Guard's systems for you as well. Take them with you when we go into the universe. They'll announce your status at once and make others think twice about provoking you. Chapter 97. A lot of gains. At that point, whether for travel home or for business, it'll be much more convenient. Yang Wu nodded. He understood the principle perfectly. He pulled out the U-disc-shaped signal device and slipped it into the green slot Babata had indicated. Now I'm going to take care of her. Cackle. In the wrist-mounted virtual space, Babata bared his fangs in a grin. Beep, beep. The command hall filled with a piercing alarm. Lines of characters scrolled across the control panel screen. Babata laughed. Heh, watch this, Yang Wu. This ship's intelligence is good. But that's all it is. I'll override her within 30 minutes, and then this black dragon ship will be ours. He began the invasion at full force. The ship's intelligence system responded, defending itself. Warning, system under attack, the universal voice of the ship announced. Please enter password within 30 seconds, otherwise self-destruct will be activated. 30, 29, 28. Yang Wu's expression tightened as the countdown sounded. Just as in the original records, a self-destruct protocol had been triggered. Even Babata grew anxious. Damn, a self-destruct routine? Babata snapped. He was the highest level intelligence they'd encountered, a full intelligent life form far beyond the ship's onboard system. Given time, he could crack permissions the way Yang Wu had used the auxiliary light brain to breach Hongwang-level fighter jet defenses. But 30 seconds was nothing. Yang Wu, this is bad. Whoever owns this ship was vicious to set an automatic self-destruct if the AI is attacked. 30 seconds, no intelligence, not even the strongest in the universe, could override a system like this that fast. Babata's voice was strained. This AI came from the Virtual Universe Corporation and was the masterpiece of the automaton race universe lord who had built it. It would take real time to break into it. And I don't know any password. Babata's eyes narrowed. There's only one way. Sizzle. The control panel began to crackle. Characters flooded the screen, buttons sparked, and the sound from the console became choppy and dry. The ship filled with an ear-splitting alarm as wiring and conduits hissed. Sparks jumped across the ceiling and along the passageways as if the ship itself were about to ignite. Bang! A light bulb exploded. The control screen went black. The command room plunged into darkness. Yang Wu, this is all I can do, Babata said in the sea of Yang Wu's consciousness. We can't conquer it in 30 seconds. The only option is to overwhelm it with a flood of data and burn out the intelligent system instantly. The consequence of that brute force is heavy damage to the ship's control systems. Many transmission lines could be fried. Babata sounded resigned. But if we don't do this, the ship will trigger its self-destruct and blow us all to pieces. We need this ship's weapons. I have to destroy the intelligence to prevent an explosion, even if it means losing a good AI. His tone was rueful, like a scholar forced to burn a rare book to save the library. Yang Wu felt sympathy. It's all right, Babata. We've waited years. A little extra time is nothing compared to losing the whole ship. You did your best. Thank you. In the wrist virtual space, Babata's despondency evaporated at Yang Wu's praise. He straightened his virtual black robe and grinned. Heh, that's me. Great, Demon Babata. This destruction takes strength. I still outmatch it. I can overwhelm its reaction time and collapse its systems. If I hadn't, he added with mock indignation, we would have just watched it blow. Good job, great Demon Babata, Yang Wu said, smiling. He'd known Babata long enough to read him, sometimes stern, sometimes a child who loved flattery. The praise brightened Babata's mood. Yang Wu scanned the darkened command room. The 3 Luyan guards and the relics left by the fallen officer told a story. Whoever had owned this Black Dragon ship had been important. Owning a Black Dragon Mountain X-81 and Luyan guards suggests he had real status in the Milky Way, Yang Wu said. Collect his relics. The rings, weapons, and other items from the officer were gathered and stowed with a thought from Yang Wu. The Luyan guards have run out of power. I wonder if my energy crystal stock matches. I'll take those 3 Luyan guards first, repair them, and see if they can be used again, Babata said. The 3 figures disappeared from where they had stood as he spoke. Although the ship's intelligent and control systems are damaged, the hardware itself wasn't hit as badly. Still, this ship is over 800,000 years old. Even with 3 Luyan guards maintaining it, there will be problems with the hardware. I'll repair them and hand them back when they're ready. Later, when we go out, I'll salvage this ship and wrecks of other motherships and battleships. With those materials, if things go smoothly, we can have it repaired in a few months. Okay, thanks, Babata. Yang Wu was relieved. Heh, it's nothing. Just wait, and I'll take you on a proper space adventure. Babata chuckled, then sobered. The vast universe is where the strong belong. Earth and the Milky Way are too small. To grow fast, you have to get out into the universe sooner or later. Yes, I must go into the universe as soon as possible. Time's running out. Yang Wu's voice held a determined edge. It was already 2058. The talent war began in 2066. He had less than 10 years to prepare. Entering the universe sooner was essential. Chapter 98. Enter the Universe, June 2058. The vast Pacific shimmered under the sun, waves flashing with iridescent light. Boom, boom, boom. 4 figures burst from the sea and shot into the sky, their laughter echoing across the water. Yang Wu, you really stole my thunder this time, taking both the 8-clawed Beast Emperor and the Thunder Dragon Emperor by yourself, one of them cried. Who told you to run so slow? Yang Wu teased, laughing. You're just taking advantage and acting smug. Come on, take this blade. Thunder God shouted. Rumble, electric snakes crackled faintly around them. Standing in the middle of his domain, Thunder God held a purple-black battle blade wrapped in writhing lightning, a weapon that looked almost divine. As he moved, he left an afterimage, and the blade shot out a lightning bolt. Activating his domain had significantly increased his speed and strength, yet Yang Wu's baseline power far outstripped Thunder God's, and Yang Wu wielded a 3rd-tier force weapon. Even with a domain, Thunder God couldn't match him. How could I be afraid of you? Yang Wu laughed and swung his blade. Thunder movement. Thunder God roared, his face twisting with effort, veins standing out. He used a move from the 312 basic forms, an ultimate technique estimated to amplify force more than 10-fold. Boom! The purple-black blade detonated, transforming into a massive waterfall-like torrent of electrical light. One blow meant to overwhelm everything. Thunder God was planetary level 7. Yang Wu was at the peak of planetary level, with triple his strength. Although Yang Wu was still in the 9-heavy Thunderblade realm, the gap between them was immense. Stop! Thunder God shouted in vain. Yang Wu hovered in midair, Azure Dragon Blade at rest. I was abused by you before, he said with a smirk. Am I supposed to be abused again? Thunder God grumbled. You're something else. Even with a domain, I can't beat you. Before, Big Brother was stronger than me, and now you're catching up. It's maddening. Second Brother, do you see the gap now? Hong teased. Then hurry up and cultivate. Maybe if your domain advances another level, or if you break through to planetary level 9, either one, then you'll surpass me and Yang Wu. Realms were broadly divided into 4 tiers: Foundation, Intent, Domain, World. After Yang Wu's seclusion, he had accumulated much cultivation, raising his blade and movement techniques into the Intent level. Domains, however, were subdivided into 9 levels. Many universe rank and territory lord experts labored for ages just to advance a single level within those 9, which shows how many powerful foes one must defeat to comprehend a domain. Breaking into planetary level 9 is no easier than advancing from planetary 1 to 8, Thunder God said, stroking his chin. It takes an enormous amount of time. Domains are even harder. Brother Hong, you've always bested me, and Yang Wu and Luo Feng are coming up from behind so fast. My face, he let out a half-laugh, half-sigh, is nearly lost. Yang Wu, Luo Feng, and Hong laughed together. Hong's comm-watch on his wrist vibrated. He glanced down. Something's happening at the martial arts hall. Let's split up here for today. The Thunder Dragon Emperor's dead. Time to head home. Thunder God waved and flew off. Yang Wu and Luo Feng also parted ways, each returning to his own home. Flying over China, Yang Wu looked down at decaying cities, ruined and dilapidated, monsters scavenging among the wreckage. Martial artists practiced and honed themselves in the ruins, reminders of the lives they'd all once led. Seeing them, Yang Wu felt he was looking at his own past. Yang Wu, Yang Wu, Babata called in Yang Wu's mind. Excited. What's up? Why so happy? Yang Wu asked mentally. The auxiliary power system is finished. The Black Dragon Mountain X-81 spaceship is complete. Just one more day. Once the auxiliary power finishes, you can ride the Black Dragon and travel the universe. Soon we'll roam the vast cosmos and see countless races. Babata was ecstatic. He'd been trapped underground for too long and longed to explore. I can travel the universe? Yang Wu was stunned and stopped mid-flight, hovering. Yes! 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 Babata gnashed his tiny fangs in delight. To him, the virtual universe was as tempting as the real one. Once Earth is discovered by other adventurers or some galactic power, it'll be catastrophic, Babata warned. So you must integrate into the universe quickly. It's crucial for Earth's survival. To integrate, the first step is to open an account on the Virtual Universe Network, he said. Then you can enter the virtual universe and communicate with countless races. Just go to one alien planet, open an account, and you can always return to Earth. Yang Wu smiled. Don't worry, I'll go. Standing high above the wilderness area, Yang Wu gazed at the landscape below, then let his thoughts drift up to the mysterious, limitless stars. The next day, a massive black, disc-shaped spaceship roared into the sky. Its destination, Chulong Star, a prosperous, powerful planet 320,000 light-years from Earth, a superworld far more flourishing than the Silver Blue Empire's capital. It was a gathering place for the powerful and well-connected, paradoxically less barbaric and bloody than many frontier worlds, but you needed money and status to enter. Inside the Black Dragon spaceship's control room, Yang Wu stood before the control panel in a blood-red battlesuit formed from the cloud-caressing vine. Babata's small face blinked onto the screen, teeth bared in pride. Yang Wu, the ship has left Earth. Activating 100% external view simulation. The control room emptied visually, the surfaces vanished, but Yang Wu could still feel the cold alloy floor beneath his boots. He peered out into the infinite stars, then turned to look back at a beautiful blue planet, Earth, growing small behind them. He studied the world he had lived his 2 lives on. It was his first time seeing Earth from space. It's beautiful, he murmured. Such a beautiful planet is my home. I won't let anyone harm it. Babata, how long until we reach light speed? He asked. The destination was 320,000 light-years away. At light speed, it would take 320,000 years. This is a C5-class ship after all, Babata replied with a tinge of disdain. If it were a Yunmo-class vessel, we'd hit light speed much faster. But it's not bad. With your current strength, traveling on a ship like this will make you look like a scion from a major family out for training. Impressive, but not ostentatious. If this were a Yunmo-class drive, we'd hit light speed in an instant, but that would be courting death. Still, a C5-class ship like this is considered high-end in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Some universe-rank powerhouses only bother with ships like this. The Black Dragon vessels accelerate well, common interstellar freighters are painfully slow, and some low-grade junk ships produce so much G-force at launch passengers must enter a safety cabin or die. That's the advantage of a luxury ship. An automatic gravity regulation system keeps internal gravity constant. Right now it's set to 1G. 12 seconds until light speed, Babata shouted. 10, 9. Babata's small face filled the screen, serious as he counted down. 8, 7. Yang Wu watched with a solemn expression. 3, 2, 1. Babata cried. The black ship, already a smear against the stars, shuddered. The space around it rippled. It didn't just blur into speed. One moment it was there, the next it was gone. Not just hidden by velocity, it had left the primordial universe entirely. The ship vibrated for about 10 seconds in absolute darkness, then stabilized. Universe transit successful. We have entered the dark universe, as Babata reported, switching off external view simulation. Dark universe? Yang Wu leaned forward. He'd read about it, a vast realm where only faint, glowing specks marked the coordinates of the primordial universe, an ocean of lights like fireflies. The ship is still at light speed, so it can't capture an external view, Babata explained. Decelerating to scan uses a lot of energy. I'll simulate the dark universe scenery for you. A screen appeared and displayed the gorgeous, eerie sight, endless dark with millions upon millions of pinpricks of light. Occasionally, other ships drifted among them. The dark universe corresponds to the primordial universe at about a 110.081 million ratio, Babata said. That means a year of travel at light speed in the dark universe would place you some 10.08 million light-years away when you return to the primordial universe. Yang Wu stared, stunned. In my old life, 300,000 light-years would have taken hundreds of thousands of years, even at light speed. There's no way to cover distances like this. In the primordial universe, matter can't exceed light speed. When you reach light speed, you transit to the dark universe, where you can travel faster than light without restriction. Babata's tone was clinical. This ship's top is 1.5 times light speed, but to save energy, we'll cruise at 1.2 C. It'll take almost 10 days to reach Qianglong Star. You can rest or cultivate on the way. 9 days later, Babata announced, we will transit back and arrive at Qianglong Star in 20 minutes. They emerged at Qianglong. Babata had scraped together enough credits for identity registration and a virtual universe account, otherwise they wouldn't have managed basic procedures. The Black Dragon ship descended into the colossal docking port and finally set down. The hatch opened and Yang Wu, flanked by 2 Luoyan guards, stepped out. The planet's gravity hit him immediately, roughly 3 times Earth's. Welcome to Qianglong Star. Parking for your Black Dragon Mountain X81 will be 9,000 Black Dragon coins per year. A 3-meter-tall, green-skinned man droned in the universal language. Horns jutted from his head, and he wore a gray uniform. If it's less than a year, the fee is still 9,000. Here's your parking card. He handed over a translucent silver card stamped with a C and a parking slot number. Yang Wu smiled, produced a 10-yuan coin in his palm, and casually tossed it to the attendant. Keep the change. Babata had already warned him to carry himself like a member of a great family to avoid trouble. The attendant's eyes lit up when he saw the coin. Ganwu coin, he murmured, dazzled. A Black Dragon X81, 2 Luoyan guards, speaking the oldest noble accent of the universal language. This guest must be high-born. The man was a planetary-level 9th stage martial artist, but as an ordinary citizen of Qianglong, even he felt inferior towards someone who looked so well-connected. The exchange rate was about 1,000 Black Dragon coins to 1 Ganwu coin on paper, and the Empire forbade ordinary citizens from converting to Ganwu coins legally. The black market rate was even higher. He bowed with more respect than necessary. Yang Wu ignored the flattery and with his guards flew toward the main city, Qianglong City. The city was the bustling center of a mid-level cosmic civilization, advanced tech everywhere, architecture unlike Earth's, all tasteful and alien. With 2 Luoyan guards and his blood-red battle armor, Yang Wu passed through checkpoints without trouble and entered the metropolis. Signal received, Yang Wu. Your communication number in Qianglong City is 101, Babata said. A planetary communication number was like a phone number. Within a planet, civilizations send codes to the auxiliary optical computers of newcomers so they can use local communicators. But interplanetary communication required the virtual universe network. To speak across stars, you enter the virtual universe and chat there. Chapter 100, Yang Wu sells knives, below territory. Lord rank, ordinary humans' consciousness is still too weak. Once they enter the virtual universe network, they can't manage real-world affairs. For people below that rank, the virtual universe is not as convenient as a simple planetary communicator. Yang Wu walked through the super city, admiring its architecture and watching humans of many races from across the stars. They were all human, but appearances varied wildly, some nearly 10 meters tall, others only 50 centimeters. Body types, skin tones, hair colors. He even saw people with green hair. Green? Yang Wu's mind flashed to memories of the talent war. Jiang Mo and Qian Shui, that brother-sister pair. Didn't one of them have green hair? According to our plan, the first thing to do after arriving at Qianglong Star is to obtain Black Dragon Mountain Empire citizenship, Babata said at the right moment. I already know where the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's administrative office is in Qianglong City. Fly roughly 200 kilometers that way and you'll get there. Yang Wu rose to the city's human flight altitude, 200 kilometers above the surface, and headed swiftly for the administrative building. The two Luyin guards he had were an obvious status symbol, and the staff at the office were unusually attentive. About half an hour later, Yang Wu had all the paperwork in order and was officially a citizen of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Citizen status opened many doors. Most importantly, it allowed him to open an account on the Virtual Universe Network. He went to the Virtual Universe Corporation branch in Chulong City right away. He could enter the virtual universe at any time now, but he didn't plan to linger. Babata, however, was almost bursting with excitement. For ordinary people, entering the virtual universe requires the consciousness to leave the body, and although Yang Wu could now multitask, he didn't yet possess consciousness division. He wanted a safe, private place. They found a casual restaurant in Chulong City that felt familiar despite its alien touches. Even on a vastly developed world like Chulong Star, many things were the same as on old Earth. People still valued privacy and respect. The restaurant had private rooms, of course, at a higher price. Yang Wu ordered a strange fruit juice and dismissed the waiter after instructing staff to leave him in peace. "All right, you can go out now," he said, closing the private room door and stationing his two Luyin guards by the entrance. "Babata, enter the virtual universe." "Haha, I've been looking forward to this." Babata was ecstatic. He'd wanted to log in the moment the account was open, but entering the virtual universe meant projecting consciousness. Yang Wu watched the connection sequence. Virtual universe connecting. A deep, resonant voice echoed in his mind. Suddenly, his consciousness plunged into a dark void. This reality resolved into an ancient-looking city. The streets were paved with large, cut stones. Pedestrians of strange heights and different races moved past, most in simple gray clothing, each with a small sprite perched on a shoulder. Swish! Yang Wu appeared among them, dressed in the same gray, and a fist-sized demon Babata sat on his shoulder. "Everyone who enters the virtual universe has a virtual assistant," Babata explained. "That's the little sprite on everyone's shoulder." The intelligence of these assistants varied depending on the interface used: a sensing helmet, an auxiliary optical computer, an intelligent optical computer, or an intelligent life interface. Sprites generated by sensing helmets couldn't think on their own. They answered simple queries and acted only on command. Babata, wearing a little green outfit, looked impossibly cute, more like a real sprite than a piece of software. This is the Virtual Universe Network?" Yang Wu asked, taking in the crowd. "Of course," Babata said in his mind. "We're on Black Dragon Mountain Island, at the edge of the Ganwu continent in the virtual universe. I'm going to play some virtual games now. Call me if you need anything." Even though Yang Wu was curious, he didn't stay long. Babata wanted to explore, so Yang Wu let him go. He still had real-world tasks to handle. Besides, even if he reached astral rank, he couldn't withdraw funds from Hu Yanbo's account without spiritual force, so he had to earn money himself. The Azure Dragon Blade is a third-tier force weapon, but its utility is limited, Yang Wu mused, stroking his chin. He didn't currently have the cultivation to comprehend the Azure Dragon Blade's secret method, nor did he want to spend his cultivation on it. One Azure Dragon Blade wouldn't change his combat power much, but selling it could give him a huge cash boost. He knew a planetary-level 9th-tier human slave went for around 30,000 black dragon coins, and even a first-tier planetary-level slave costs several thousand. Market prices for monster race slaves should be similar. He needed a lot of black dragon coins to hunt planetary-level monsters. "Babata, I want to sell the Azure Dragon Blade. Do you know where the Qibao shop on Chulong Star is?" Yang Wu asked. "Let me check." "Head in this direction," Babata replied after a moment. "But are you sure you want to sell the Azure Dragon Blade?" "Yes." Yang Wu's answer was firm. The Qibao shop's inventory can't match the Spirit Force weapon specialty stores, so they'll pay more, Babata added, encouraging him. Yang Wu hurried toward the Qibao shop. The Qibao shop covered an enormous area, comparable to a large plaza on Earth. Inside, the shop was divided into sections: combat suits, beast taming gear, spiritual force weapons, exotic fruits, robots, an overwhelming variety. Each item had a projection display, and everything was extremely expensive. Yang Wu scanned the projections and the prices. Expensive, ridiculously expensive. They even had cloud-caressing vine seeds and violet crystal fruits, truly extraordinary. Yang Wu kept his expression steady, though his heart raced. Even if he sold Earth, there were still many things in this shop he couldn't afford. He wasn't that immoral, but he needed money. "Respected sir, how may I help you?" A service attendant smiled. "I want to sell a force weapon," Yang Wu said, producing the Azure Dragon Blade. The attendant's smile froze. "It's a third tier," Yang Wu added. "Please, wait a moment." The attendant's hands trembled. Force weapons and spiritual force weapons were luxury items already. Each tier increase multiplied the value. Third-tier force and spiritual force weapons started at billions of black dragon coins, and top-grade third-tier pieces could reach into the hundreds of billions. The attendant hurried off to fetch an appraiser.